Como guys, my name is Jay Builds and welcome to episode 2 of Kingdoms of Avalon. Today we're finishing up the castle area and we're actually going to be moving a bit to the west here, or a bit to the east here in a bit. But first I'm just going to do a lot of the interior on those smaller houses that you saw me build in the first episode. So these are going to be pretty basic interiors. It's just going to be all the bare necessities that the officials here will need because they will have homes in the city, that sort of stuff. And it's going to be sort of the interiors aren't really going to have as much personality. I can go back in and add more personality later, but for now they're just going to be mostly basic. And all of these are kind of not going to be specifically tailored to specific individuals. As you can see, I'm having a bit of trouble making a bunk bed here, but that's all fine and well. I'm kind of giving each house a specific purpose. Like this would be sort of a library kind of a thing, but they all have the same basic purpose of giving people a place to sleep at night. Like this one's more centered around mining. They have a bunch of gold ore there. They have a bunch of storage. It's got a lot more stone, and it's a bit more compact, whereas the other ones are kind of more homey, and this one's it's like taking advantage of space, and there's a lot of storage on the floor and a lot of different things that kind of contribute to a specific feeling that I can go back and edit later. This one is more tailored towards storage. There's a lot of storage space in this house. There's a lot of shelving units, a lot of barrels, a lot of pots, that sort of stuff. So now that I've kind of finished up the area, I went back and I did a bit with the chimneys, and I've just kind of been editing them and making them look nice and doing specific things with each house. And then I can also go and add some functionality to each of the dispensers up on the castle so that they can actually defend the castle. I've also added some functionality to one of the towers, giving it a ladder, because the towers are kind of just there for support. They're not really having that much of a purpose. I also went in and added some decorated torches, and now I'm going to go and add some storage units and make it look like people have been here and they have supplies in barrels and boxes. So once all that is done, I'm going back and I'm taking use of that mountain that I mentioned in the last episode. I'm definitely going to be editing this part of the mountain in the future, and I'm probably going to be adding a basement to the building that I'm doing right now. And keep in mind, again, I know I've said this so many times, but I will be able to go back and edit everything later. This is just foundations for everything. I'm also going in and adding that texturization and that depth with the cobblestone and the stone bricks and all the different variants of each, because those really help give each build its own specific feature and its own specific identity. And it also helps your depth perception and helps your eyes break up things while you're looking around. And then I'm using some world edit to put in some framing, and I'll definitely go back and change the framing, maybe add some arches, lots of things. I always just kind of build a base around what I'm going to be doing, and I'll go back and edit everything later. Like you can see right there, I went in and I had already built that path, and then I went in and edited it, changed it. I'm going in and changing the mountain. I'm going back and changing different bits of the houses just to tailor to the specific needs that the city will need. also went in and added a second floor bridge, and now I'm just going to do some framing on the windows. This is subject to change, just like everything is. And boy, have I been saying that a lot. I gotta start just finding something else to say. And then I'm also going in and copying each window, pasting it in, and doing all kinds of things to make sure that the framing works correctly, adding some different like the leaves, the flower pods, all kinds of different decoration that gives it a natural feel alongside all the kingliness. And then I kind of thought the depth of the planks was much better than the trapdoors on top of it. I don't know why, it just looked wrong to me with the trapdoors. And then going back and adding some spruce and birch leaves because they kind of look like ivy on the side of the house. And then I'm going to use some world edit and put together like the roof and make it sort of semi-castle-y. And again, I'm going to go back and edit this later. This looks more like a temple or a house to me than a castle. And, it was just kind of spontaneous thinking as I was recording. I'm probably going to do a lot of off-camera stuff in this series. You can see again the I don't know what they're called, the pillars on the castle just don't line up, and I'm probably going to go back and I'm going to edit that because it just doesn't look good for now. It's all subject to change, and it's all going to constantly change as I move further in this series. After messing around with guardrails and stuff, I decided that I'd put a roof on the wall bit here, and that took a bit of time. I'm not really sure what to think of it. It looks okay as a standing ground for adding more. I might add a ledge coming off even more on where those trapdoors are, and maybe add some more of the pillars going around like that, so that it kind of has a castle-y feel. And then I'm probably going to expand that wall out a little bit. I also got pretty frustrated at the fact that these never line up. They never line up no matter how hard I try. It just never happens, and you always have to go back and edit them. It's hilariously frustrating. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to do the interior on the inside of the castle. I have limited space here because I just built it at such a strange shape that I'm definitely going to be expanding, and I'm definitely going to be changing a lot in the future. I just kind of did it spontaneously and didn't really think about it as much. You'll also notice on the edges there are some terraining glitches. That is all just from World Painter. I've tried fixing it, but it just doesn't work as the river is a different level than the lake, so I'm gonna leave it and fix it a little while later once I'm better at this kind of thing. So now we're going to be moving to an entirely different section of the map. This is the volcano, which you can see right here. We're going from the castle, we're going east all the way up past Territory 6 to the volcano and monk caves. So in this episode I didn't necessarily do the caves, but fairly recently I did a lot of the castle, and not the castle, the temple, and I did a lot of the volcano. Maybe in this episode, I'm not entirely sure as I'm not finished recording, but I did have a lot of trouble with water getting in the way of the lava. This is all just World Painter as it's a new program to me, and it took a little while to use, especially since it's a pretty retro program. So I'm going for kind of a fog effect here. This I've seen on several different channels, and I've seen it used in the past, especially on maps, where you use different shades of glass to kind of create a fog effect going over like the lava lake or over a bunch of water, and it's a really neat effect, especially if you have light underneath it, which the lava will add. So right here, I'm probably going to be texturizing this a bit later, but I'm going to put a rim around the fog effect to give it that kind of natural effect. Right now it just kind of looks like a box. I'm also going to add an overhang, which might get finished in the next episode, might get finished in this episode. Again, I'm not entirely sure. So the overhang is nearly done. I've used some stone, I've used some different variants of stone, some of the glass to kind of make it so that the fog is rolling off, but it looks fairly neat, and I'm probably going to be editing it in the future, again just because I've been saying this so many times, everything is subject to change. I'm also going to be adding some sort of a curvature around the lava lake to give it that kind of texturized natural feel. So right here I'm going to add a bit of texture to the top of the mountain range. This is going to be done by slabs and full bricks, and this is sort of mimicking what I did over on the castle build over there. So I'm just going to finish by adding this little lava pool. Of course, the sound tells you that it's the end of the video, and I will be doing a lot with this area probably in the next video, and I'm definitely going to be adding some cool features. I'm starting kind of a chain here, which I kind of, off camera, I sort of got rid of that idea, but thank you guys for watching. This has been a fun episode. We got a lot done in 2 separate areas, which is really nice, and I'm going to be working on this specific area in the next episode, and then we're actually going to be expanding to a bunch of different areas. But thank you guys for watching. Goodbye. Please help support the channel. You can do that by subscribing. You can just share the video with your friends. That will be a lot of help, and I will be continuing the Dragonland series quite soon, so don't worry. But thank you for watching, and goodbye.